Testing 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess it's working. Hello. Good morning. I'm just testing my laptop to see how well it'll stream. Audio seems kind of sucky. Is it clear though? I guess I got a pretty good deal on it.
Burisma in 2014. Burisma, very, very corrupt Ukrainian energy company. He has no experience in oil and gas. He admits it. He says, I don't have any experience. I know why I'm there. I have a dad. I have with me a document called the FD 1023. Have you seen this? You're familiar with it? Okay. It's used by the FBI, everybody in America. It's used by the FBI. It is a confidential human source reporting document dated June 2020. You're familiar with it. In this document, the FBI's confidential human source says Burisma, now the corrupt company, needed to keep Hunter on the board so everything would be okay. And according to the human source, they hired Hunter Biden to, quote, protect us through his dad for all kinds of problems. Mr. Garland, does that concern you? Okay, it should. I got limited time. Remember, your sources are credible, trustworthy, honest, and valuable. Are you familiar with Victor Shokin?
The document that you're...
Who is Mr. Victor Shokin? So I got 3 minutes left.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, Victor Shokin. Who is he?
I don't know. Do you want me to answer
he's the prosecutor, folks. He's the prosecutor that was, he oversees all the corruption in Ukraine. We know there's corruption over there. For the American people watching, after a few months after Hunter Biden joined the Burisma board, Victor Shokin was named Prosecutor General for Ukraine to target corruption. And one of his investigations was into Burisma. In this FD 1023 document, the human source clarified that Burisma's CEO, the man in charge of Burisma, said he has many text messages and recordings that show he was coerced to make such to ensure Victor Shokin was fired. Matter of fact, there were 17 of them. Mr. Garland, it's clear Joe Biden wanted Shokin fired so he would stop looking into Burisma, where Hunter was on the board. Would you agree? All right, let's let the American people decide. Play the clip. Play the clip.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from
Pay attention, sir, please.
that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Mr. Attorney General, what you just saw there was Joe Biden in his arrogance and role as the vice president in this country saying if you don't fire Shokin, the United States isn't given the $1 billion loan. Why would Joe Biden say that as the vice president? Why would he say such a thing? Was it policy? Was it our policy at the time? Yes or no? It wasn't. I have documents here. Interagency Policy Committee dated October 15th.
Point of information, is the gentleman ever going to let the
I'm on my time, pipe down. Saying Shokin had made significant reforms.
Texas.
He's made significant reforms, Shokin did. Matter of fact, John Kerry says he was impressive. And you know, within a few months,
Well, thank you very much. Great honor to be with you. And hello, Iowa. I'm here to deliver a very simple message. Iowa has never had a better friend in the White House than President Donald J. Trump, and I think we know that. He made a lot of big promises to the people of this great state, and as your president, I kept every single one of those promises. I gave the farmers $28 billion straight out of the tariffs I took from China. No other president took anything from China. Got hundreds of billions of dollars. We gave the farmers $28 billion. And that was the largest amount was given to Iowa. I ended the NAFTA disaster, the worst trade deal ever made in this country, and replaced it with the brand new USMCA. And that's, as you know, Mexico-Canada was the best trade deal ever made, and so good, in fact, that the two nations are now trying very, very hard to renegotiate the deal, and don't let them do that. And while I never mention it because of COVID or the China virus, as they say, I also got China to buy, and this is so important, but just don't talk about it, to buy $50 billion worth of American farm product, and they were buying it, and they were buying it in a very big way. Unlike the establishment globalists in this race, I've been an unwavering warrior for Iowa ethanol, and I will remain your ethanol champion, very important to your economy. Ron DeSantis has aggressively fought against ethanol, which I think would be devastating for Iowa. He fights against it all the time. As president, I issued a rule declaring all E15 would be made available all year round, and you could reutilize your pumps and all of the existing equipment, which is saving hundreds of millions of dollars for your state. And I dramatically increased the number of fueling pumps where E15 could be sold all across the country. We were really great for ethanol. I staunchly defended Iowa's first in the nation caucuses and was responsible for keeping you as first in the nation. Without me, you would not be first in the nation right now. I created the strongest border in U.S. history, built nearly 500 miles of border wall, then wanted to add another 200 miles. We had the fence all built, and the wall was built. It was ready to go up. And when Biden got in, they didn't do it. That's when we first realized this guy actually wanted open borders where people pour into our country. And many of those people come out of prisons and mental institutions and terrorists, and it's a terrible thing that they've allowed to happen to our country. We'll turn that around very fast. Under my leadership, we created the greatest economy in the history of the world, the greatest. And in fact, I actually did it twice, as you very well know. I appointed over 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. And last year, those justices, and you know exactly what they did, they ruled to end Roe v. Wade, and now pro-lifers have a tremendous power to negotiate. We gave them a tremendous power to negotiate, which they didn't have until this termination took place. This moves the issue back to the states, where all legal scholars, whether you believe in it or not in it, they felt it should be. And like Ronald Reagan, I support exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. And remember, the Democrats are the radicals on this issue because they're willing to kill babies in their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th month, and they're willing to kill babies even after birth. And they are the extremists, they are the radicals, and politicians running for office cannot allow this to happen and cannot let them get away with what they do. They try and politicize that issue, and we can't let them get away. We did a phenomenal thing for our country and for life. I fully rebuilt the U.S. military, created Space Force, defeated ISIS, and was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. In fact, I got us out of those lingering, horrible 20-year wars. We were getting out of Afghanistan very powerfully with dignity and strength. In fact, I spoke to the leader of the Taliban, and from that time on, not one American soldier was killed. 18 months, not one soldier was killed until Biden came along and ended up giving them $85 billion worth of equipment, left many Americans behind. We lost 13 incredible lives and many, many badly wounded. The most embarrassing, I think, moment in the history of our country. And because of that, I believe that was the incentive for Vladimir Putin to invade Ukraine when he saw the incompetence of our military and our leadership more than anything else. The whole Afghanistan mess. What a shame it was. The 2024 election is our last shot to save America, and there's only one candidate, and you know who that candidate is, who's going to get the job done. And I'm going quickly because we're given 10 points and we're given 10 quick minutes, so I'm going to go quickly, but we did a lot of things. It's hard to do it that quickly. In the newest echelon poll of swing states, we're trouncing Biden by 7 points. In the big new premise poll, we're beating Biden 43-39, while DeSantis is losing to Biden 33-38. In other polls, I'm leading Biden by 6, 7, 8, and 11 points, while DeSantis is losing to Biden in all cases. I wouldn't take a chance on that one. I'm leading in the primary polls by 50 and 55% against him and others. And a poll just came out where I'm leading in Iowa. We love Iowa by 34 points. I'm leading in New Hampshire by 35 points. And I'm leading in South Carolina by over 30 points, and that's with 2 politicians running, as you know, from South Carolina, leading by substantially more than 30 points. And a poll just came out a few minutes before I got up here. And in Ohio, the great state of Ohio, we're leading by 52 points and beating Biden by 10 points. That's what we have to do. I'm the only Republican to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania in more than 30 years, and you have to win them. Nationwide, we flipped 200 counties that voted twice for Barack Hussein Obama, including an astounding 31 counties right here in Iowa. These are counties that never went for Republicans, and they went for me. And despite 4 years of deranged opposition, we did even better the second time than we did the first time, getting more votes in 2020 than any sitting president in the history of the United States. They rigged the presidential election in 2020. We're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024. They used COVID to cheat. With your vote, I will fight for Iowa like no one else is going to fight. And I've already proven that. I don't think anybody's proven it like I have. I will obliterate the deep state. We will say no on 87,000 IRS agents who want to take your money, and much worse than that. They want to weaponize the IRS just like they've weaponized the Justice Department and the FBI. And by the way, if I weren't running, I would have nobody coming after me. Or if I was losing by a lot, I would have nobody coming after me. They wouldn't be coming after me. I immediately cancel every single open borders policy of the Biden administration and stop the invasion of criminals in many cases coming into our country. I had the safest border in the history of our country, and we will do it again, and we'll get it done very quickly. On day one, I will sign an executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on children. I will keep men out of women's sports, and you know, nobody's been tougher on that than me. How ridiculous is that? And I will sign a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation. Can you believe we even have to say this in all 50 states? I will fully secure our elections. I will defend the Judeo-Christian values of our nation's founding. I won Iowa twice by really a lot. We set records, and together we will crush crooked Joe Biden, the most crooked president in the history of our country by far, and also grossly incompetent, doesn't know what he's doing. He's destroying our country. We will win the election big, and we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Why'd you cut the iMac? He still has a minute on stage.
I didn't cut it.
Who's controlling the iMac?
I'm controlling my iMac.
Why'd you cut it?